Andrei Kozyrev was Russia's foreign minister under Boris Yeltsin. You can see him there, the last elected leader before Putin. He has been critical of this current regime and is the author of The Firebird, The Elusive Fate of Russian Democracy. Appreciate you making time for us again. How are you?
Thank you. So looking to Moscow and looking to what happens in my motherland.
Yeah,
that does give you a good mood, you know.
Right, not a good mood. And again, as with all foreign coverage, we have to only imagine for a moment if it was our homeland, if we were there, and if there's many people, we mentioned this, whether it's Russia, China, or Iran, there's tons of innocent people living their lives, but under this type of government. As we try to make sense of the question I just mentioned, what should we understand about how this started and what the pullback meant?
Well, you started actually showing my comment when we met before, and you know, I meant, and I think you meant the real kind of opposition inside probably the Putin structure of government, opposition from, I thought, patriotically minded, though, however, military people, but patriotically minded officers. I met a lot of them actually in my constituency when I was elected representative of Murmansk, where the major naval military base is situated, and they voted for me despite my pro-American foreign policy at that time. So they are patriotically minded. But this situation now with Prigozhin, it's different. It's just a fight inside a gangster group. You know, one gangster, top gangster, that is Putin. He created Prigozhin to do some kind of dirty job and a robbery, actually, in Africa and later in Ukraine. And they pretended that it's independent. Today, Putin, despite of his previous protestations, admitted that the whole thing, the whole organization was financed directly from the state budget, from the state assets. And so they kind of use state. That's the problem. That's a major pain for all of us who watched what happens in Russia, is that the state became an instrument of the gang rule. It's a gang ruling the state and using state assets, finance, and all other for their totally legal, even from the point of view of Russian constitution, totally illegal actions, including
as you say, for people to understand, it's sort of like you're saying, well, Putin holds out this gangster approach, and it's what you can call someone to do your dirty work or a kleptocracy or corrupt, and then it's sort of biting back on him. I'm curious if you can then explain to us from there whether any of this would bring out his Putin's potential opponents within government, Kremlin, or otherwise. Does this weaken him, as some have heard, or in your experience, no?
Well, apparently this particular situation did not weaken him seriously. Probably even opposite will happen. He might strengthen his power because Prigozhin is a very absurd kind of figure, and he is known criminal, and he is speaking this kind of obscene language, which is usual in Russia, but not for someone who wants to challenge to be on the top. yet it still can be. I mean, it all depends on brutal force, who outfox whom, and who poisons probably even whom of those two. So yes, there is always, and it's not the end of the story. Even if Prigozhin's kind of revolt would be completely destroyed and defeated, there will be others. That's, again, the problem. You know, the gangsters, they always fight for power. It's like wolf's pack. There is an alpha wolf, but other wolves wants to be at this place, you know. That's, and but what is important, though, that we saw that Putin could be challenged with force. And he will backtrack, not stay on the so-called red line, but he will backtrack, he will escape. And after humiliated even by temporary defeat, like in Rostov, he will what? He will negotiate.
Yeah.